two approaches. You've got Andrew Scheer, who's very consensus-oriented, very calm. He used to be Speaker of the House. He doesn't have any sharp edges. And you've got Andrew Scheer, and you've got Maxime Bernier literally calling the CBC fake news and Rosemary Barton despicable because they smeared him as racist. So what's the difference there? Not on policy, it's style. Will you fight, or will you say, yeah, I guess we're racist? To me, this is a battle for the soul of the party and how it's going to fight 2019. Maxime Bernier says we're going to fight like hell. Andrew Scheer says, oh, don't make a fuss. That's my rebuttal to you. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's certainly some merit in that. I have been struck by the fact in this that Scheer is kind of the, oh, please don't beat us.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
We aren't racist. No, please don't hit us. And I don't know what you gain by that. I really don't. I don't want to, if I'm the leader, be dragged into this fight. Yeah. By somebody else. Yeah. Like if I'm the leader, I want to be the one who decides the timing, the forcefulness, the tactics. I don't want the guy who I beat to become the leader, to change the or to direct the tempo and the ferocity. Yeah. But once you're in the fight, I think it behooves Scheer to be a little more forceful, but I don't think that's the character you're going to get from him. And I don't say he's a bad guy or an awful leader. He's very cautious. He didn't get to be the youngest speaker in 100 years. By being a radical. Yeah. He's from the suburban insurance wing of the Conservative Party. And so, he's going to be very cautious. He's going to give very measured advice. There isn't going to be a lot of battling. And I think with Trudeau, it might be useful to be more like Bernier. Yeah. And that's why back a year and a bit ago, when they were having their leadership review, I endorsed Bernier. I thought Bernier would have been a better leader. Yeah. But he's not the leader now. And that's how the party decided it wanted to go ahead. Yeah. And so if you're Bernier, you have to respect that to the extent that Andrew gets to decide what battles, how hard, and when. And it may be unsatisfactory, and I think in a lot of ways it is. In this case, I think it is. But you talked about how the fact that they're both, there's not much between them substantively. Would both of them return to the Harper government's guide for newcomers to Canada and the values that were in that guide? Undoubtedly. And that means that there really isn't much to pick and choose between the two of them except tactics. Yeah. And Maxime, I love him. Yeah. I absolutely love him. I love the fact that he went back at the CBC. He didn't adopt this. No, I'm not. Yeah. I'm not a racist. Oh, my goodness. Here, let me prove it by being obsequious. Yeah. He said, you're despicable for calling me a racist. It means you didn't even try to figure out what I believe in and have any kind of analysis of it. And so, I like Bernier, and I'd stick up for him. But Scheer is not that. That's not his personality.
I got a call last night from a senior Conservative MP who asked me, well, what can we do? And I said, well, look, it's not for me to say. I mean, I give my advice publicly on TV, but I guess I did give one answer, and I've said it again today. A test of leadership for Andrew Scheer is, what do you do with a problem called Maxime Bernier? How do you solve a problem like Maria, as they said in The Sound of Music? And this isn't the first time in history. I mean, look at Jean Chrétien and Paul Martin, right? Paul Martin was hungry, but Jean Chrétien was a boss. And so part of Jean Chrétien's political skill and talent and wisdom was how to harness Paul Martin's strengths without letting Paul Martin take over the party. And in fact, that battle lasted a decade, and Chrétien pretty much won it.
And there's a great story about that. So Chrétien announces he's going to step down, and it was, 18 months or something. It was a long period where he was a lame duck. And Martin was getting more and more and more impatient. Yeah. Chrétien had seen the Auditor General's report on the long gun registry and the fact that it cost $2 billion. Yeah. And he knew that was going to be this huge scandal. And so after a party convention, Martin trots up to Ottawa and he demands that Chrétien step down. Chrétien says, okay, This bag of dog droppings is going to be lit on fire on our doorsteps in about a month. Yeah. The job's yours, Paul. Yeah. And he left. And so then the first thing that happens to Martin after Chrétien plays this game with him for 10 years is somebody rings the doorbell and there's a burning bag of dog droppings on the front porch. And Paul's first instinct was to stomp it out. So.
Well, yeah, and of course the ad scam came out around then. My point is, I mean, and by the way, I agree with you. I like both Andrew Scheer and Maxime Bernier. A test of Andrew Scheer's skill is, because you don't want to ignore Maxime Bernier. He'll take all the oxygen out of the room. You don't want to kick him out of the caucus because there's no reason to. He's not, and by the way, that's not going to shut him up, and that'll split the party that needs to be healed and unified. So he has to figure out how to harness the energy of Maxime Bernier, and simply telling him to shut up ain't going to work. That's an excerpt from my daily TV show, The Ezra Levant Show. Normally it's behind a paywall, but I thought you'd like this video, so we put it on YouTube. If you want to subscribe to watch the daily show every day, including always 2 interviews a day, and I read my hate mail, just click on this screen and become a premium member.